It's an honor being here, and I appreciate the younger generation trying to understand what the older generation went through those horrible years in Vietnam. Um, I was 17 years old when I joined. I was in the Navy. I was on a ship the first year, and I did see quite a bit of the world, especially in the Pacific. And then I went to cooking school down in San Diego, California. And from San Diego, California, they gave me orders to go to um, the Seabees, MCV 10 out of Port Hueneme, California. Then we got orders from Port Hueneme to go to Japan. And from Okinawa, our whole battalion was moved by C5As and C130s over to Dong Ha, which is in North Vietnam. And from there, we went up to Quang Tri province, which is actually, it was just a big open field that had no facilities whatsoever. The battalion built the largest air base in North Vietnam, except for Da Nang, that was only 60 miles from the DMZ. And I was there with them for approximately 6 months, 7 months. I was a cook in the Navy. We cooked for any place from between 1,500 and 2,000 meals every morning, every afternoon, and every evening. We had grunts, we had Seabees, we had airmen, because they'd bring their helicopters in there and Army, and we'd feed them all. It was an open canteen for everybody to eat. I didn't like that duty up there because it was kind of hot. And so I volunteered, which is the last time I've ever volunteered for anything, for naval support activity in Da Nang. Well, when I got down there, they put me on YFUs and LCUs, which is riverboats that go up and down the rivers. On those boats, I was approximately 16, 17 months. I spent a total of 22 months in Vietnam. It's a beautiful country. The people are beautiful people. We was there during Tet Uprising, and we took a lot of supplies up north. We worked with the 5th Marine Division, and we brought men and women out of the north after fighting. We brought supplies in and brought wounded guys down the river where the helicopters could come in and medevac them to the hospital ships. It was a very fast learning experience at the age of 19 years old. Here in Logan County, I believe we lost 5 or 6 people. We got a gentleman from over in Bell Center. He was killed. A pilot from Riverside High School. He was killed. There were some other people wounded in Lakeview, I believe, or Russell's Point, but I believe it was a total of 5 to 6 people in this area. Ohio was one of the heaviest casualty states of the war. There was also something during this tenure on riverboats that a lot of Marines and Navy guys were exposed to. Was called Agent Orange, and it was a herbicide that killed all the foliage up and down the rivers and parts of the Nam. The government told us that it was not harmful to civilians or us, which we later found out in later years that it was very harmful. A lot of men have died because of it. A lot of men are suffering now. I myself was sprayed with it on the boats. I'm personally 100% disabled because of Agent Orange. But I do want to reiterate even though I was injured and the other guys are injured, and all the rumors that you hear about the VA system, about the hospitals and so forth, are just not true. I go to the Columbus VA. I've been going there for 7 years, and it's such.
Kind of did things backwards. I graduated from high school and went to college, got my degree in criminal justice. Got out of college, joined the Bellefontaine Police Department, eventually left and went to the Logan County Sheriff's Office. But on September 11th of 2001, I was hunting with my brother-in-law at the time. He was home on leave from the Marine Corps. We'd gone squirrel hunting. We came back to the in-laws' house, and that's when we found out what had happened with the World Trade Center and the attacks. I remember watching him call his unit. He was actually stationed in Okinawa at the time. He was calling his unit, wanting to get back with his unit. And there was just a little bit of guilt that I'd never joined the military. So a couple of years went by, and a good friend of mine, who was the Champaign County Deputy Sheriff, told me he was joining the Navy Reserve. And he was my age. We were in our early 30s at the time. I think we're too old for that, aren't we? He said, no. He said, you can join up until you're 40. So on a whim, I thought I'll give the recruiter a call and see what it's all about. And it was probably about 4 months later, I was in the Navy. So there's times I wish I'd have gone in out of high school, but I kind of like the way I did it. It worked out. I did about it was just shy of 10 years. I did joined in January 2006. I went through boot camp. I was 34, 35 years old when I went through boot camp. Did a tour in Iraq and in Kuwait in 2009, 2013, and then went to Afghanistan in 2013. 2009, 2010, Iraq, and then Afghanistan in 2013.
Mm-hmm. So, talk about your experiences.
I had it to compare to law enforcement. You get a pretty good camaraderie with the guys you work with, pretty good friendships. Very similar in the military. When you're overseas, especially when you're overseas in I guess a hostile area is the best way to say it. You get a pretty good bond with the guys you're with. So when I was in Kuwait, I was a member of a security detachment, a Maritime Expeditionary Security Detachment 823, which our parent command was out of Newport, Rhode Island at the time. I was out of a detachment out of Columbus, Ohio, the Reserve Center in Columbus. But we were on a patrol boat, so we did port security for both the Kuwaiti Naval Base and also Shuaibah, Port of Shuaibah, which is where, at that time, I don't know if they still are or not, they brought in all the equipment for the Iraqi war. So for the 9 months that I was in Kuwait, that's what we were on patrol boats at the harbor where the ships come in, provide security for them. For the last 3.5, 4 months, I went to Iraq, and when I was in Iraq, I was on the Al Basra oil platform, which is about 30 some miles off the coast of Iraq and Kuwait. That's where the Iraqi, they actually pump their oil out there so they can load the tankers to ship the oil around the world. So that was a little different. I mean, it was kind of neat out there, but after seeing water every morning for 3.5 months, you're ready to get off of it. But so that's what we did in Iraq and Kuwait. In Afghanistan, I served with as a technician for the Naval Special Warfare. So I did anti-terrorism force protection for one of the FOBs in Afghanistan. So that was there's a lot of different things that went in there you really can't get into, but mostly perimeter security on the base, making sure the perimeter was safe. That's pretty much about all I can say about that there.
Mm. So. What are some good things that happen, like fond memories?
Oh, fond memories. No, boot camp's not a fond memory. That's 35. I went through that, but I think probably the best memories I have from boot camp are from the military service or the friends, the people you meet. That and the satisfaction of knowing you serve your country.
I've always wanted to do it. Ever since I was a kid. Always been a very patriotic person. Want to do something more to help protect the nation, I guess. So, yeah, that's pretty much.
So where did you serve?
My place of duty, my place of work was Fort Carson, Colorado, and then I did one tour to Afghanistan for 9 months.
What was training like?
Like the basic training part?
Yeah, just didn't. Yeah.
Basic training, to me, it was a walk in the park. Very strict, very strict rules. Always working out. Always them trying to train you how to be able to do your job when you get to your duty station. Just busy, pretty much for almost 4 to 5 months. So, when you get to your duty station, it gets more in depth. They do more. In basic, you learn a very broad portion of your job. When you get to your duty station, it's more, refining how to do your job. For like us, call for fire using radios,